This is probably the first time I'm doing this with my dad in terms of sharing, so it's a special moment for me. And I'm just thankful because what put me in this direction was growing up in Kahaluu, Oahu. That's our wahipana. And we were raised on kuleana land, and we were fortunate as Hawaiians to have kuleana land on the ocean. We had about 2 acres that was like a village. My father always refers to it. And had 10 of my great-grandfather's brothers and sisters, and everyone had their own little hale area. So the idea of undivided interest and all that. So that makes even curriculum in terms of civics and politics and what's happened with the Hawaiians when we talk about Hawaiian history. Then we had land way up in the mountain of Kahaluu, where we raised our taro. And my father's family were fishermen and farmers. And they pretty much were self-sufficient until World War II, and then the military came in and they just locked everything up in the village. It was another time. But growing up is where I got exposed to the love that I saw he had for the kupuna, the old people. When I was very small, I would be with him going, and he'd go with all the old folks. After he'd be finished fishing, he's a squid man, octopus, he'e. And that's all he did every weekend. But we did net fishing, different from Uncle, who did big kind of ahi fishing and deep sea fishing. So this is one type of method that we did, which is called the Hookilo. There's many different kind of Hookilo, but the key ingredient to the Hookilo is that rope where you see those leaves on top of it. But the interesting thing is those leaves are what we also use for cook our food, which makes it even more interesting. So that would be considered, if we planting that, teachers, what would, because 3 ways of planting, right? Seed, stem, and cutting, right? So how would you plant the tea leaf there? Just one Wheel of Fortune question.
Cutting. Yeah, I would say cutting.
Cutting, right? Cutting. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So I mean that's a perfect example of making teaching interesting and relative, yeah, to our young people. So anyway, I'll let my dad share about the Hookilo, where we come from, which has Canary Bay with all the reefs. This is what that is for. And then he can share about the full moon and how they did them during the moon at nighttime. Yeah, go ahead, Dad.
This is this net. You got to be about 30, 40 years old, and this is Hookilo net. What we do, maybe we get a rope about 100 feet, or 100 feet or more. One rope that side, one rope this side, and then in Canary Bay, when the tide goes down, the fish all down on the side of the reef. So when the tide comes up, the fish hungry, they gotta go on top of the reef to eat. So as they come up on top of the reef to eat, then I'll set this net at the edge of the deep, right at the drop off, and put the arms open like that. And 100-foot line on this side, 100-foot line on this side, with tea leaves, dry leaves. And they walk, and then we meet, we come together, and we make the corral small, and the fish go right in. Then we close the net. This is small Hookilo. Now, another way that we did, when the tide is down, the fish all on the side of the reef. You get all kinds of fish. So we have a bay, is about 60 feet long, like a big cave, just like that. It's a big cave, you could drive a car in, yeah? About 60 feet long, and we run the fence line just like this. One short piece go to the reef. We're at the edge of the reef now. So one short piece go on top of the reef, but the other side, we add a long line, maybe about 100 feet or more on the side, just like on a car. When the fish on the other end, we hit the water, pipe, the fish hit and it won't go, just follow that line net and go into the big cave. Now when they go into the big cave, some fish are faster than the other one, like the moid, the oil, the the color, they come later on the wicked. But the fastest fish to get up there always is the oil. So anyway, so I used to dive on top because I hold the slack of this fish on top the reef with me. And the other net about 10 yards away, I follow along the reef. My uncle, usually the three of us dive. And usually the water where this net is set is about 20, 30 feet. So my two uncles, they would take one with the fence, start with the fence, and then my other uncle in the middle, and I on the shallow part on the reef, swim across the net and drop. Then I do my thing. And as the most we catch sometime as we pull up this big cave that's in the water, maybe 3 or 4 tubs of uhu, kala, manini, everything is in there. Then we come up, then we go to the next place and do the same. Now the only time we do this when the church need help for for money or somebody's wedding or funeral, on a special occasion. We don't or for the village, for the family. Everybody have a share. So when I was little, in our village we had about one side is the Hookilo, the other side is the Watson. But the park separated us, but we're all one family into marriage, yeah? So we used to, my two uncles, Charlie Hookilo and Benjamin Hookilo, they were the last great fishermen in our village that I grew up in, and I learned a lot from them. We used to dive and catch an octopus. You talk about 20, 30. And as you go to the village, you see all these clotheslines with dry hay hanging up. Oh, so we were little, push the stick and all squeeze dry and go to the next, so the neighborhood. So what we do, we never had chewing gum. So what we run by, we see the pool one leg, chew them around to the next pool one leg. And at the end, we used to do that. And what's so, it's just a way of life,